All right. It's another episode of Write Once, Read Many. This time, interlude chapter from Arc 27. Boom. The link is already out there. Vic, you got a
Got
vamp.
it. Hello. This is the High Priest art. We got our fugly ass leader here. Just as a reminder, we have to remember at least once a chapter to
And no one
mention
can stand how he looks.
how ugly Eidolon is.
It gets a little cruel. Come on,
It's too
what
much.
if I'm
It's so
fugly one
much.
day? I don't want people to just think of me that way.
He also thinks of it about himself. He's just
I know.
moping around, and then he's like, God, I'm so balding and my nose is too big and all this shit. It's like, dude, the world is ending, but everybody else is also thinking the same thing, so I can't blame him.
Like, that's the bad part, is it's like, he's not wrong to think people are thinking it because they keep doing it.
Because they keep doing it. They keep meeting him and being like, wow, that was disappointing.
Although I think people with powers are likely just reacting poorly to his powers, I still am like, come on, guys. Come on. There's gotta be a limit. I know we all love clowning on Eidolon, but we're gonna say his name all kinds of ways. Eidolon, you know.
The Eidolian.
Yeah, all kinds. Every way they mispronounce it in the audiobook, we're gonna pronounce it.
Yeah.
Greg's here, saying hi.
I've got top left pillar is clearly Dr. Mother, and then on the right is obviously Contessa. There's no way to know. I almost drew the Contessa's fedora on her pillar, and I was like, I can't do it.
I'm sorry, that would have been too silly. I'm glad that you kept it more serious.
Yeah. And then I have a.
I like that they just have.
Of the,
they kind of have different eye lashes, and then different cheekbones, and then slightly different hues of green.
Yeah. And then on the bottom left here is our representative of the Cape community worshipping, and then on the right is our representative of the pleb community.
Yeah. Very hierophant coded. But then, did you see what Greg said? Poor Eidolon getting bullied by Vic.
I wasn't bullying him. It was just important to mention that he's very ugly.
Yes. Very important to note. How could we live without saying that? I kind of it's more clear in the image form, like it's very resolved, but then I liked in the video form how it the artifacting actually kind of makes it look textured. Anyway. I noticed that with the flat form, I have the PNG background where it's checkered. So I don't know how to get rid of that.
Oh, I don't know. I probably saved it wrong. But just know there are tapered edges. This is a card after all.
It's viewable that there's tapered edges, but it doesn't go into black. It goes into the PNG back and forth.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna have to live with it one way or the other. I'm gonna leave it on the video half the time, so we can see the fully tapered edges and the weird artifacting texture of the video.
Sure.
Wow, my Google Docs is going crazy again. Well,
Uh-oh.
it's only one little part of the doc, and I'll send you a screenshot so that you see how bananas it is. Oh, I don't know how to quickly take a screenshot on Linux. Well, we're gonna have to figure that out later. Anyway, so the audience participation question was pick a different 4 words for Scion to have said to Eidolon than what the addendum chapter would have us believe. Anyway, then themes?
I have a lot of themes that I didn't know how to exactly say, but there's like this concept that both David and Cauldron have like hinged their entire lives on one exact thing, and the like I mean, we see in this chapter, Eidolon will lose that thing, which is like him being the biggest, best hero, saving the most lives or whatever. Um, and then obviously Cauldron has like hinged everything on this end of the world scenario, and maybe not tended to the other things that they both should have been tending to in their lives, so that if they fail at this one thing, that it doesn't all fall apart.
I would say, kind of also, Glastigüeñe and Scion fit that same description that you just gave of the other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. And then there's the like disability theme with him like literally having been disabled when he was younger, and then now feeling it's probably accentuated his like loss of power or whatever, because he's had that happen to him before, where he was like slowly losing power over time and like getting worse and worse or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like this kind of like lack of control or agency over your own life, regardless of how much power you actually have. Like same thing that Cauldron's going through and kind of that Scion's going through. And then his like suicidal ideation or whatever, which is very it's giving Hamilton. And I think that's like a common personality type, like especially in men who are like drawn to being in the military or being cops or whatever, where they have like this depression or this suicidality, but they kind of channel it into being like, well, I'm gonna give myself, and I'm gonna like die in a blaze of glory or whatever, and it's not a great mindset to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that all of that tracks, but I also think that yet again, basically all of these themes, like more so than usual, describe all parties in this chapter, from the Cauldron um to specifically each of the top echelon Cauldron members, and then also Scion.
Yeah.
And to a certain degree, like Glastigüeñe, because like while she's still like everything's lit right now, she's basically going like, oh no, in my heart I don't know what to do, and also no one can win. There is no like proper win condition. So what do I do?
Yeah. It's okay, I'll just trick Eidolon into trusting me, and then I'll betray him last minute.
Oh, except that doesn't happen though.
Yeah, Eidolon's like, I hate like every time he and Glastigüeñe are fighting, then he like turns to her and he's like, hey, are you gonna kill me now? It's like, dude, just focus.
I think she's going to attack me.
Yeah. I have no reason to think this. She hasn't given any indication that. I know that he's like, oh, Weaver gave a warning or whatever, but come on, man.
Yeah.
She could have let him die plenty of times in this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other themes?
Uh, the theme of Wildbow wanting to go ham during a battle sequence.
Yeah, for real.
Anyway,
I'll,
I'm ready.
I'll bet I can get into it.
Yes.
So Glastic and Eidolon, since that Scion has returned, uh Eidolon dismisses his sensory power and teleportation power takes its place. It like it's like a bubble situation, so he like makes a big bubble and then when the bubble gets infiltrated, then it automatically teleports him, I think.
Yes.
Um, so he starts like he's kind of like bugging out though because he doesn't have all the powers that he needs, and he's like considering all the pros and cons of each of them. And Glastic is like, uh, give up your flight. I'll carry you. All sus like. So some of the ways that Glastic talks in this chapter reminds me of Taylor. Like she keeps like smiling to herself, and he's like, oh.
Yeah. I think it is very like if Taylor didn't have a mask covering her little face, then she would be like
It's so
doing all
good
the
that she
same
has
shit. Like
masks.
she's always like smiling the most when she's doing something really vicious and crazy. So it's like, oh,
Yeah.
not her. Yeah.
She just needs like more expressive mandibles, like a cord style mask. So when she smiles, her scary bug mask smiles.
Exactly.
Oh.
That'll help her
Um,
PR.
yeah, so she's like, "Don't worry, I'll carry you." And he's like, I don't know about this, because he thinks Glastic is gonna betray him, and he can't like figure out what her motivations are, for being here and doing this fight. And he's thinking to himself that they're kind of two sides of the same coin, but her strength has been growing and my strength has been diminishing. He's like he's just so fucking down on himself all the time.
I used to be the best one that was actually a human, and now I'm the second best one.
Yeah, it's like relax, man. He's like, oh my God, like what if she's usurped me as the most yoked parahuman?
I know.
How I put it.
Awesome way to put it. I know that you have heard from me before about the player of games, but I really feel like this reminds me a lot of one of the opening sequences of the player of games where like the main character is like, oh no, I'm gonna get owned by this younger, cooler person who is good at games, so I just have to win this game. I have to ultra win with the best possible win. Otherwise, everyone will think I'm washed as fuck.
Yeah, he's like everyone's gonna think I'm such a like fucking failure and a pussy now that I'm only the second strongest parahuman. I'm so
Yeah,
pathetic and sad. And you know what? Every time someone sees him, they do think he's pathetic and sad. So I can't even like fault him for feeling so insecure.
yeah. Anyway, so you did pull out this piece, and I will read it.
Hmm.
Imagine that I have like a spooky fairy voice instead of a normal voice, and that this was the kind of program where I enacted a voice changer. So, a leap of faith, Glastic spoke. Give up your power, and I will be able to lift you. He glanced at her. She was smiling a little, as though she'd said something amusing.
I do think she is like fucking with him for a lot of this, to be honest. He's
I
like,
should probably
stop
do a
saying
high-pitched
riddles,
voice for
and
her.
she's like, huh?
I should probably do a high pitch voice for her because like
Yeah.
I think of her as like she's a 54-year-old woman, but also she makes herself a little girl.
Yeah.
Well, and
She's
part of my
very.
thinking on the voice was that like the altered like crowd voice might sound deeper, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Who
That's true.
knows? A leap of faith. Give
A
up
leap
your
of
power.
faith.
Oh yeah, I'll use
Give up
my
your power, and
my
I'll be happy to
annoying
lift you.
voice for the Dream Moth in Hollow Knight. A leap of faith. Glass Stigwenier spoke. Give up your power, and I will be able to lift you. He
I think
glanced at
that's how
her.
she
She was
talks.
smiling a little, as though she'd said
She's like
something
a
amusing.
evil child and an old crone at the same time.
Okay. So I think I've clarified my voice for her. We're good.
Okay, good, because so many more quotes. Idolin's like, why are you calling me the high priest? He's like not focusing on the right things during this interaction, but whatever. Um, and Glastic Wenye starts dropping lore about how the passengers work, and she's like, oh, they need to lead through this and that, and blah, 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 blah. But she says they're out of time, and so he dismisses his flight power, and she presumably catches him because he doesn't get squashed.
Like
So,
a bug. Like some kind of
yeah.
bug.
Take that, you worm. 6 months ago, flashback, Eidolon is pissed when the doctor tells him she's not giving him any more boosters. She's drawing a hard line in the sand. And we kind of see here that like his powers very much like will just pull on his emotions. So he's like pissed or whatever, and so he gets this danger perceptor power or whatever, like he's in battle. And he dismisses it, and then it gets replaced by an offensive power. But he just knows all these things are ultimately useless when fucking Contessa is here. And I have a quote here.
Idle thoughts. He was angry. The desire to harm them in retaliation was one his agent responded to, but not one he would act on. Frustrating that the distinction was lost on the agent. I think even these little moments are like really good at, like, this is one of the things I always talk about with Wildbow, like good at world building, where it's like, how little time does it take for like that little chunk to be in there? And it's like this kind of background knowledge on how bad at parsing people they are that's like consistently hit home is I don't know. It just really works in favor of all the later material, because like a lot of the back half of Ward is about like this stuff again. So it's like, yeah. So good.
I know. This is a really good chapter with like, I don't know, a lot of kind of lore drop about how the passengers work, and then also like clarification from Cauldron about the dumbass decisions they've been making. Because they've been alluded to, but it is just outright in this chapter.
Yeah, you can put your finger on some of the stuff and be like, you really do sound as dumb as I thought you sounded.
Yeah. So, the doctor says that the boosters are getting less and less effective. Eidolon says that she's asking him to leave people to die in Endbringer scenarios. But the doctor's like, no, I'm just asking you to leave them for others. You know, all the heroes that we've definitely made with these Cauldron vials.
I always just feel like they've definitely killed off more heroes than they've made, and that like,
I mean, they've like straight up murdered so many people.
Yeah, and it's like they, in some of their evil machinations, I'm sure have made a difference, but in many of them, it's just
Didn't they like personally kill Battery too?
No, technically, like, Bonesaw did, but they could have definitely saved her. They could have spent, like, 5 seconds of Contessa's time and been like, Contessa makes the antidote, or whatever. Like, you can't tell me that Contessa can't have made the antidote.
Heroes.
Yeah.
Oh, but they only use her to fucking do bullshit, silence people. Yeah, so she's like, oh, like each booster is a power that we're not giving to somebody else. And he's like, yeah, but I know there's no hard limit on the formulas, and which isn't like necessarily true, but there's a great expansion of things that they can pull from, and the doctor agrees that they won't run out anytime soon, but that it takes so much time and resources. 12 to 30 minutes.
Before I even read this quote, I do want to say, like, this is something I specifically, like, kind of thought about and talked about before we started streaming. And, like, the more I talked it out, the more I'm like, this is so stupid. They think that their timeline is anywhere from 2 years to 16 years. If you do 16 times 12, like, however big that number is, times 30 minutes, that's not a lot of your time to keep Eidolon kicking at, like, full strength. And, like, maybe their claim is, like, oh, well, he'd need boosters more and more often. But I don't know. I don't
think that
know.
the only claim that would be reasonable that they didn't give is that every time we give you a booster, it's less effective. So we're not going to give you a booster until the last minute.
That's a more compelling argument.
It'll be the most effective out of anything that we could do. But they don't say that. They're like, we're not giving you any more boosters. You're gonna fucking fight Scion. And you're not getting any boosters for it.
Yeah, it's like if they were dead broke on vials, and like they were always using their last vial to do each operation or whatever, then I would understand this mindset. But they have like thousands stacked up, who knows how many thousands, and like when all is said and
30 minutes it takes to make the formula, okay?
Yeah. When all is said and all is done at the end of like a lot of the events of Ward, it doesn't seem like there are that many Case 53s. So it's not even like they were seeding thousands or tens or hundreds of thousands of Case 53s around. So they're not expending these formulas. They're just saying no to Eidolon. It's like, you fuckers.
I think they're expending the formulas on literally killing people that they've kidnapped from other Earths.
Oh, yeah, maybe they're, like totally failing, and they're not,
Well, they might just be, because she says in just a moment that she says in just a moment that they want to make another Eidolon or whatever, which is obviously going to be a completely unbalanced formula.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe they're just eluding.
The most chaotic. So they're just like killing as many people as possible right now instead of giving them the Eidolon.
Yeah, I guess you might be right. They might be just giving a bunch of really unbalanced shots and then, or, however you want it, vials. You know, they take them like shots. And, then that would be a bunch of dead people instead of a bunch of Case 53s. I guess you're right.
It's just like even worse.
I mean, they have the prison cells in the thing, and they have like at most a few thousand. But I mean, it just sounds like they're saying like, oh, we can't because we're doing all this and whatever. But when you think of how many hours are in a day, and you average like, let's just say they all take 30 minutes instead of 12 minutes. They're all the worst amount of time. There's still 48 formulas a day, every day for like quite a long time. And they don't say that's like, we can only do one. It's like per person maybe. They're unclear on it. But it's like, I agree with Eidolon also. Yeah, just have like more people harvest it.
I think she might only have like one person making them or something. But like, we don't.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting way too lost in the weeds. I just like shitting on these people. Yeah, lost in the power sauce.
The vile sauce. Yeah, I have this great quote here.
Yeah. So my Eidolon voice will be very cool guy. I am a hero. You can't. Eidolon shook his head, changed tacks. Doctor, I've always been on board. You told me about the true goals, about the experimentation. I was loyal. I understood. I know that we're up against what we're up against. The rate of parahuman growth, the number of villains, the Endbringers, the end of the world. I'm not debating that, the doctor said. I'm saying it's more efficient. We have to be efficient now. More efficient? Says who? Contessa. Fuck Contessa! He leveraged the telekinetic power, slashing his hand out to one side.
He, throws a desk at the wall, and the custodian catches it and just puts it down.
Yeah. I think it's funnier if he's being petulant in his hero voice than if he's, dropped persona entirely, so that's why I'm reading him that way.
Yeah. He does talk about at some point he's letting his voice rage with his powers or whatever. So yeah, and then Eidolon just starts moping and he's like, could we get more resources, maybe? And the doctor's like, oh no, that couldn't possibly happen. That would risk another Manton situation. All right, it's not like you didn't protect this motherfucker this whole time.
Well, that's another thing. She'll be like, "Oh no, another Manton situation," and it's like she herself feels like they benefited from that. Also,
yeah.
Why didn't they do more to be like, I'm gonna use Contessa power to bend someone like Glass-Steagall to our short-term whims? Get her to absorb Siberian, and then get her to fight the Endbringers with it. Because the Siberian could probably kill a fucking Endbringer, but Manton would get killed during the fight, so you would want to actually, use, Glaystig instead. Or have Contessa carry him around the fight, and keep him safe. But they'd be like, oh, it's a blind spot. We can't, I don't know. It just seems like they could have come up with some convoluted plan to have a really fast flyer like Alexandria, flying him around the battle, projecting his projections to drop down on Leviathan or whoever.
Greg says, pretty sure Glass-Steagall is one of those capes that are a blind spot. I don't know. Because
in the
she's
book,
just
they
a
talk.
Normal...
Yeah, she's just a normal cape from the standard Scion set of shards, and then the other thing is that that Contessa is the one who manipulated her into absorbing Greyboy, so we know that she was able to perfectly work within bounds on both of those entities. So, maybe later on she's a blind spot because she's built up more powers or something. I'll give you that. But in story, we have evidence that she's manipulatable.
Imagine, Contessa just turns around and is like, ah, ha, ha, this was all my evil plan all along. I've been tricking the doctor.
There is a consistent concern in Ward of characters being yeah, but Contessa still exists, and we're sure she's not trying to get us. We're sure this isn't just her plan. And then everybody's like, look, man, you can't focus on that too much because if it's her plan, you're fucked. There's nothing you
can do about it. Yeah. If it's her plan, it's already too late. Yeah, Eidolon's like, I have given you guys my whole fucking life and self, and she's like, here's one more thing to give. It's so awful. And he's just so defeated. He takes off his mask, and then he's thinking about how ugly he is. He collapses into a chair, and she's like, I'm not going to help you with any of this because I'm not qualified, but I'm here if you want to talk.
It doesn't say it in the chapter, but when he like sits down in the chair, he probably says the classic like Dan Santa line where he says, "I look like shit and can't read."
Yeah. Um, she's like, I'm here if you want to talk, and he's like, oh, I need to go out in a blaze of glory, and right now, everyone's just watching me get so weak and pathetic. Um, the custodian like pushes the doctor's desk in place. And then the doctor, the fucking fact that she's like, I'm here if you want to talk. And then he starts talking, and then she, like, gets up and leaves.
Yeah,
Like,
classic.
she's like, so you understand why we're not going to give you any more boosters. And then she gets up and leaves, and Contessa follows her out.
Bye.
It's so fucked. So yeah, back in current day, uh, Bustic Wenye catches Eidolon with flight power, and he gets a new power manifesting. And I have a quote here.
His skin prickled, and that prickling soon extended to his costume. In moments, he could feel it as an extension of himself. His vision changed, shifting to an aquamarine color as the pane of his helmet took on another texture, crystalline. The crystal continued to grow, forming more layers of crystalline cloth, ornamentation, and more. Something that would withstand a broad attack that his other defensive ability couldn't dodge.
Pretty good. So they see Scion approaching over the horizon, and Tattletale hops in on the comms, and she's like, there's no need to fight. we all saw what happened the last time. But Eidolon says he and Glastic Wenye are still raring to go. And Tattletale's like, well, okay, I'm not gonna say no to that. So she's like it might even be good for morale, and Eidolon's like, oh, I could do something dramatic.
The drama.
If it's morale we're talking. If you're saying I need to cheer people up, I guess I could do something pretty sick. And Tattletale says to go big or stay alive so that they can get the footage off of his body cam. And then the comms go dead and Scion attacks. Eidolon he's like teleporting around with his bubble situation. And Glastic Wenye attacks Scion with this giant metal dragon. He like obviously easily just bursts through it. And then he's like chatting with Glastic Wenye, and he's like, oh, it's just me and you now, eh? And she's like, no, there's some capes down there dying currently. And she says they also can't forget the dead, and Eidolon thinks of Alexandria. That just makes me sad. Like, the whole, like, they just get so sad when their teammates die.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Scion's paying attention to Eidolon now and thinking about how uggo he is. It's like emanating off of him in his aura.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that you know, being of the third court, Eidolon is disgusting, and no one.
It's nasty.
Well, that's the thing is like when people without powers think like, oh, you're gross, it's just like a human thing. But when people with powers see him and think, oh, you're gross, like it's probably on like way more of a gut level than.
Yeah.
Anyway. So
He never had a chance.
he never had a chance. Eidolon used his matter creation power. As with the Fairy Queen's monster of steel, this was derived from a single point, an expanding creation of matter. In this case, however, it was an explosion. Carbon unfolded from a single point. Eidolon chose Scion's right ear canal as the center point. And
Pretty hardcore.
I did really like when I was like re-listening to this, like the first like moment that that she starts using her power of like the expanding metal. I was like, oh, that's just like the concept of how like Eidolon's gonna hurt him later in the chapter, and then it happens almost immediately. But I was like, right. So it's like she inspired the ability to pull up in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about like his abilities will come in and then he'll talk about them quote unquote shifting. So it seems like they have some kind of like flexibility in how
Yeah.
they manifest or whatever.
And there's
And they can like
also
kind of take info from around them.
like several of them seem like clear, like there's the Chevalier one later where he can see like Chevalier's second sight. And it's just like, oh, well, I think I know what's happening. You know? But it's
Yeah.
just like, I don't know. It makes it more clear that he's tapping into just every other power directly. It's not that he has his own set of powers that's completely unique to him. It's kind of like he just has access to the rest of the network.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Idolin like thinks that he sees blood from this attack, but then Scion just drops the mask and he's totally fine, obviously. And then he starts lasering all around again, and Idolin's teleporting all around, and Idolin goes for the carbon attack again, but Scion just easily avoids it this time, and he's like, oh my god, he's fucking learning.
It adapts.
Yeah, so Scion sends out this attack and lets Eidolon teleport before he releases a blast in all directions. So it's actually making contact with Eidolon and his like crystal shell or whatever before he can rebuild his teleport. And I don't exactly know what happens here because it says he loses his flight power, and then later Plastic Winya gives him flight back, but are we just flying around in the air? Is he just free falling during this fight?
I think so. I think she's like hoisting him around temporarily, and then later on, I think that she might grant him a boon that gives him flight power. But isn't this the point in the fight where she's telekinetically hoisting him about?
He just says he loses his flight, and he's like, huh.
Well, I'll try and figure that out while you continue on.
Yeah. It's a little confusing, but he is like still teleporting around and they're super high in the air. So I did think maybe he was just like teleporting up and then falling or whatever.
Greg says she's hoisting him. There's this old thing from a podcast where they were like talking about being hoisted by your own petard, but then they were also in a separate instance afraid of like people in some super rural area because they were like riding by really loud, and they were like, what would they have yelled when they came for you? They'd be like, hoist them, boys! They were just so afraid of being hoisted by their own petards that it became a whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh my god. Well, so he loses his flight power, but he scraps his crystal armor power and he's like praying for regeneration power, which he does get. And then he's watching Plastic when he attacking Scion, and he blows up Scion's ear again, trying to get his attention. And then flashback 2 years ago, post Echidna fight, the Triumvirate and Cauldron are talking damage control because, you know, they all got naked and told their secrets in front of everyone. Legend's angry about everything.
Can you believe that they were nakes, even though he's an Aga?
Yeah. And then when he was naked, everyone was like, oh, he's so ugly.
It's worse than I imagined.
Oh, God. They saw his normal form, and they were like, oh, he's so deformed. The kid got him. Oh. They're just so mean. But yeah, Legend's obviously pissed about everything. And the doctor and the number man are like, everything's fine. It's all been net positive. And even the number man's like, it's not as good as we wanted, but it's technically net positive, which makes me think that it's not very net positive.
Yeah.
They haven't been doing a very good job.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it. Okay, I think I found it. When he falls, it says, he felt his flight leave him. An effect of the golden light? No, something else had caught him. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think she's like dragging him around with telekinesis.
Okay, so I think she was granting him flight, and then he lost the flight, or she